What if you could travel through time, but every single trip risked erasing your very existence? Not in some distant science fiction galaxy, but right here, inside the strange logic of the universe we already live in. Time travel fascinates us because it touches something primal, our desire to undo mistakes, to revisit love, to see the future before it arrives. Yet, the moment we imagine bending time, we run into contradictions that stretch our reason to its breaking point. Philosophers call these contradictions temporal paradoxes, events that twist cause and effect until we can no longer tell which came first. They're not just storytelling tricks. They're puzzles that question how reality itself holds together. Let's start with one of the oldest, the grandfather paradox. Imagine you invent a time machine. You go back 50 years and accidentally prevent your grandfather from meeting your grandmother. If that happens, you would never be born. And if you were never born, you could never have traveled back to stop them from meeting. So which version is true? The universe can't hold both. To philosophers, this is more than a family crisis. It's a logical impossibility. In ordinary life, causes precede effects. But in a time travel loop, an effect can destroy its own cause. The chain snaps, and with it, the consistency of the universe. So how do we solve it? Some thinkers argue that such paradoxes prove time travel is impossible, that nature protects causality the way a body protects its vital organs. Others propose something more mysterious. Maybe reality can split. In one timeline, your grandparents meet. In another, they don't. You vanish from one world, but live on in another. That idea, of course, is the foundation of the multiverse, a cosmos of branching possibilities, each containing its own version of you. But this brings us to an even deeper question. What exactly is time? We talk about it as if it flows, a river carrying us from past to future. But physics tells a different story. According to Einstein's relativity, all of time, past, present, and future, exists simultaneously, like pages in a book already written. We experience those pages one by one, but the book itself never changes. If that's true, then perhaps you can't really change the past, because it's not gone. It's still there, just not where you are. A time traveler doesn't rewrite the story, they simply flip to another page. Still, this vision feels unsettling. If every page is already written, what happens to free will? If the moment you travel back is already part of the book, then your choices were never truly choices at all. They were plot points that had to happen. That tension between freedom and fate is at the very heart of every time travel paradox. In the next segment, we'll explore this clash more deeply. How the possibility of traveling through time forces us to question whether free will, choice, and even identity are illusions we tell ourselves to feel in control. Because once you step outside the flow of time, you may realize that time itself has been watching you all along.
Forget everything Hollywood has ever told you about time travel. The real paradoxes aren't about flying DeLoreans, dodging dinosaurs, or saving doomed lovers. They're about you, your choices, your freedom, your identity. Imagine standing before a time machine, hand on the lever. You could go back 10 years, meet your younger self, and whisper a single warning. Don't make that mistake. You press the button. But what if the very act of warning your past self creates the mistake you were trying to prevent? This is the essence of temporal philosophy, the haunting dance between free will and determinism. Let's start with what philosophers call causal determinism, the idea that every moment of your life is the inevitable result of what came before. Every heartbeat, every thought, every decision, all of them are links in a chain stretching backward to the birth of the universe. Under this view, even your choice to step into the time machine was already predetermined by countless causes. Now, introduce time travel, and the illusion of control unravels. If the future already exists, just as real as the past, then traveling into it is an exploration, it's confirmation. You're not changing the story. You're walking through a script that's already been written. Physicist Igor Novikov proposed something called the self-consistency principle. It says that if time travel is possible, then whatever happens must always be self-consistent. No contradictions allowed. In other words, you can go back in time, but you can't change the past. Every attempt you make to alter events simply becomes part of the timeline that always existed. It's like a cosmic joke. The harder you try to resist destiny, the more tightly you're woven into it. Think about that for a moment. You believe you have free will, that you can decide, act, and alter your path. But what if time isn't a road we walk forward on, but a sculpture that already exists in full, and we're just moving along its surface, discovering what's already there? Some philosophers describe this view as eternalism, the belief that all points in time are equally real. The past hasn't vanished. The future hasn't been born. They both are, right now, just not here, where your consciousness happens to be standing. In that sense, time travel doesn't break free will. It exposes that you never had it in the first place. And yet, the human spirit rebels. We need to believe our choices matter. That's why stories like the butterfly effect or Tenet fascinate us, because deep down, we're searching for proof that we can shape destiny. But the paradox remains. If you change the past, you were always meant to change it. If you caused the future, it was always going to happen that way. So maybe the question isn't, can we change time? Maybe it's, can we accept that time changes us? And yet, even deeper paradoxes await, loops that defy both physics and logic. In the final part, we'll dive into one of the strangest riddles of all, the Bootstrap Paradox, where existence itself becomes a loop. Prepare to have your sense of reality folded in on itself.
A scientist finds mysterious blueprints for a time machine on his desk. He builds it, travels back, and leaves those blueprints for his younger self. Who invented the time machine? That's the Bootstrap Paradox, an object or idea existing without ever being created. It simply is. This paradox challenges philosophy. If something exists without a cause, what happens to our concept of reality? It questions the principle of sufficient reason, the belief that everything must have an explanation. In a time loop, explanations eat their own tails. The effect becomes the cause. The beginning and end are the same. Philosopher David Lewis argued such loops might be strange, but not impossible. Reality might allow closed causal curves. If the universe allows these loops without contradiction, the question shifts from can it happen to why does it feel impossible? Consider your own life. How many things feel self-caused, like your dreams or beliefs? Where do ideas come from? What if we're all part of a temporal feedback loop, each generation shaping the next, and in turn, shaping the past through memory and myth? Perhaps time travel isn't just machines. Maybe consciousness travels backward through memory and forward through imagination. Every time you recall your past, you visit it. Every time you envision your future, you bend toward it. Physicist Kip Thorne described time as a landscape, not a line, but a terrain where past, present, and future coexist. Moving through time isn't rewriting the map, it's walking across it. From a higher perspective, every choice already exists. So, the real paradox of time travel might be psychological. We crave freedom, yet fear meaninglessness. We chase the future, yet long for the past. In this tension between choice and fate, we create our own loops. The next time you imagine time travel, remember, you already are. Every decision rewrites your relationship with every moment. Perhaps that's the closest we'll get to mastering time. Because in the end, time doesn't belong to us. We belong to time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you.